It was that kind of night that seemed quiet, but did not. The type of quiet that doesn't comfort. It constricts your chest as if something is about to break. Meri Brown had alone on the porch of her Utah bed and breakfast. Something that had once provided her a refuge, now ringing with all that had never been said. The sun had only just fallen below the red hills, and it was sending its golden rays through the desert like a secret that didn't want to be told. But inside of her, there was no peace tonight, not after all of this. Her phone rang again on the table next to her, then again, missed calls, a torrent of messages, tabloids, producers, even some relatives. And Robyn, of course. Meri didn't answer. Not tonight. Not ever. Hi guys, welcome back to Reality Recap. I'm Ania. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because what we're about to dive into, this isn't just another drama. This is a woman taking back her life. And I want to know what you think in the comments, because this one, it hits different. This one's personal. Meri rocked slowly in that worn wooden chair, the boards creaking with each movement. She wasn't crying, she wasn't visibly angry. But inside, something seemed to be cracking open wide, years of swallowing things, of being the good wife, of standing on the sidelines as someone else received the love, the attention, the safety. A decade of being gaslit into quiet. And then something changed. She grabbed her phone, unlocked it, opened Instagram. And for the very first time, Meri Brown went live. She didn't smile. Her hands didn't shake. Her voice didn't quiver. She stared straight at the camera, and she was ready. The moment Meri's face appeared on that live stream, it was clear this wasn't the same woman we'd been watching for years on reality TV. She didn't flinch. Her tone was calm, her eyes locked in. This wasn't a breakdown. This was a statement, a reckoning. And it was long overdue. In seconds, tens of thousands of viewers poured in. The comments exploded. Is this for real? Is she talking about Robyn? Every viewer could sense it. This was huge. Meri didn't come on to dish or ruffle feathers. She came to share her truth. And for once, she didn't care who was listening. I remained silent for more than 10 years, she started, her eyes unfazed. Through the lies, manipulation, gaslighting, it never let up. She went on. Not only about Cody, but about Robyn. And that's where the tone changed. She never raised her voice. She never accused with flames. But what she said hit like a gut punch. Robyn, she told him, you took my loyalty. You used me to protect your reputation while I was taking the hits. I sacrificed my marriage so that you could adopt your children. I did what I was told would benefit the family, and I was discarded because of it. And if you saw that moment, if you noticed the look on her face, you knew. This wasn't merely about betrayal. This was about erasure. She had been erased from their narrative. But today, she was reclaiming the pen. And in Flagstaff, meanwhile, Robyn was immobile in her kitchen, watching the live stream, her face illuminated by the screen of her phone. Pale, frozen. Her daughter Aurora stood next to her in shock. "Why is Meri doing this?" she whispered. Robyn didn't answer. She couldn't. The tears she used to use to deflect responsibility, they weren't doing their job this time. It was then that Cody burst in, phone held in his hand, his face contorted with rage. "What is she doing?" he growled. "Why now?" He slapped his phone on the table. Robyn attempted to reply, but the words jumbled out. "She's distorting it. I don't know why she's doing all this." But this time, even Cody didn't believe her. Because Meri was done playing games, and she wasn't going back. To truly comprehend why this live resonated so deeply, you must look back to Vegas, back to when Robyn came on the scene and everything began to change. Stealthily, sonically, and right before the cameras, no less. Meri was Cody's first wife, the legal one, the original partner with the background, the title. But then came Robyn, a single mother of 3. And everything changed. TLC documented every moment. They said it was for love, for oneness, for family. That Meri and Cody legally divorced so Cody could marry Robyn, on paper, to adopt her children. Meri acquiesced, not with enthusiasm, but with optimism. She hoped it would bring the family together. She relinquished her legal right to be a wife. Symbolically, emotionally, she backed away. All for the greater good. For the family, for the children. But what exactly did she truly receive in exchange? Because we witnessed it. The aftermath. We saw Meri get pushed to the side off of the screen. We saw Cody and Robyn become the golden couple, holding hands, smiling away alone, snuggled up on the couch, while the other wives remained in other houses, hanging on to tattered threads of connection. And Meri? Meri got left behind. Reaching time and time again, sitting on porches, sitting in silence, appearing with hope, only to find distance.
When Meri attempted to connect with Cody, to chip away at time, space, just a minute to speak, he cut her down with a shrug, like she was being too demanding, like after all those years she was just supposed to move on. And Robyn? She never intervened, never stood up for her, never recognized the cost Meri had paid so she could soak in the limelight. Slowly but surely, Meri was edged out, emotionally, spiritually, and ultimately, from Cody's heart entirely. And Robyn, the supposedly rescued one, had crept quietly into queen of the castle status. We all witnessed it happening, but we didn't know how far it went, until Meri finally articulated, until she voiced the words that had been lurking in plain sight in every single episode for years. She didn't lose a marriage, she was made to believe she didn't exist. As if she were invisible, and that's why her truth had such an impact. Because it was there all the time, right in front of us on screen. We just hadn't listened to her say it. Yet. The second Meri ended that live, the internet lit up. It was like tossing a match into a pile of dry kindling that had been gathering for over a decade. Reddit threads exploded almost instantly. Longtime fans, even casual viewers who'd only seen bits and pieces, couldn't look away. On Twitter, tags such as Team Meri, Robyn Exposed, and Sister Wives Unmasked trended for days. Every sentence Meri uttered was replayed, analyzed, posted, quoted. TikToks poured in, people lip-syncing what she said, others sobbing as they listened, and many uttering what so many had held within. We saw it too. We just didn't know how to put it into words. Then something unpredictable did happen. Something that didn't feel like a reality TV moment. Christine phoned Meri. No cameras, no script, no theatrics. Just soothing, steady words, a soft kind of peace. Not much later, Janelle also joined the call, and just a few days after that, the 3 of them, Meri, Christine, and Janelle, sat down at a small coffee shop in Salt Lake City. No production team, no Cody, no scripted lines. This was no reunion for the cameras. It was real, raw, a reunion that didn't require perfection, just honesty. They didn't talk much. They didn't have to. Sitting together after all of it meant more than words ever possibly could. In her corner, Robyn attempted to fight back. She posted a video, dim lighting, mournful music, the same quivering lip she'd employed for years. But now, it fell flat. People looked through it. The same generic denials, the same phrases, "I don't know why she's doing this." People weren't accepting it anymore. The sympathy that had once protected her, it broke. As for Cody, he was utterly lost. For years, he'd had the upper hand, played the misunderstood husband, the guy who's just trying to hold it all together. But now, people weren't buying it. Even his most defensive reactions, the finger pointing, the pity sermons, they were greeted with eye rolls and stinging remarks. The tale he'd built for so long was beginning to fall apart, because Meri had finally shared hers. And it worked. No fireworks, no grand departures, no orchestral music, just silence. A sort of quiet that lands deeper than in written scene. After all the years of being everybody's doormat, the one always prepared to catch the emotional punches, Meri, for the first time ever, had something she never really did. Peace. The cameras progressed, the buzz died down, the internet moved on to the next viral tale. But for Meri, that live stream was not the end. It was the beginning, not for a narrative, not for a rebrand, but for herself. She remained in Utah. The air was dry. Still. Her home, once a reminder of isolation and rejection, began to feel like her own again. She painted the walls, not for sale, not to impress, simply because she wanted a different color, something warm, something that resembled her. She planted flowers in front, had a small dinner with a few dear friends. No pictures, no fanfare, only laughter filling a space that had previously been occupied by silence. There weren't long speeches, no grand proclamations, only slow, steady mending. She opened a drawer one morning, and there it was, a note from Robyn, old. In that signature, sweetness of handwriting, promises written that counted for nothing anymore. Sister-wife do-nothings that never meant anything. Meri gazed at it, not with anger, simply with clarity, and she tore it in half, not in a fury, not to make a statement, but as a quiet gesture of peace, a farewell to the version of herself who waited too long, stayed silent too long, loved people who never actually showed up for her. That was the actual closure. Meri didn't require the spotlight anymore. She possessed something much more precious. The sound of her own voice, finally unmuted, and a quiet that didn't require an audience to exist. It wasn't loud, it wasn't flashy, but it was finally hers.
It didn't arrive in some whirlwind. It didn't come crashing in like a soap opera plot twist. It started with talk. Elijah didn't arrive in Meri's life hoping to repair anything. He wasn't asking questions about Cody or the show or the controversy surrounding it. He wasn't curious about the headlines. He was curious about her, what she found funny, what books she couldn't stop reading, where she felt most herself. And for the first time in what seemed like an eternity, Meri did not feel the need to be anything. Not a fixer, not a placeholder, not forgotten. Just herself, fully seen, without having to earn it. They'd sit on the porch together, not in silence, but in actual conversation. Discussions about identity, decisions, belief, not the practiced sort of people offer when cameras are rolling, but the sort that only follows pain, follows growth. And Meri laughed, truly laughed. Not the stiff, awkward laugh we'd become used to seeing on screen all those years, but a laugh that springs from someplace deep inside, the kind that only appears when you feel secure, when you're finally comfortable in your own skin. Elijah was not taking up all the room. He didn't talk down to her. He didn't push when she was quiet. He respected her quiet as much as her sound, and that made the difference. Meri was not standing around for love anymore. She did not have to pursue it. It had found her. Because she stopped curving for it, it came slowly. With respect, no repairing, no performing, just truth. And for once, it didn't feel like surviving. It felt like living,